and that can send them down. That can send them into a slump.
Yeah.
I mean, for months, just like baseball, anything, you have one bad at bat and all of a sudden it can spiral. So these guys never think they hit a bad shot, basically, is what I'm saying. So Xander definitely didn't execute there. Mentally, I think he was off on the idea of what he was trying to do. And then it was just poor mental execution, poor physical execution.
Yeah.
And it cost him the Masters, basically.
It's tough.
That one's going to stick with him for a long time. And now they're showing the top 12 in ties. Basically, those are all the guys that get, I believe it's full status for next, I was listening to this earlier, but they get full status for the PGA Tour next year, essentially. And so here we go. We got first career major, first Japanese-born male to win a major, Hideki Matsuyama. So what did you guys like about his game today, just in general, or yesterday when he fired the 65?
Well, he won the tournament yesterday. I'm sorry, credit to me again. At the beginning of the back nine, I told you 11 under was going to win it.
You did?
And actually, was it 10? It was 10.
Oh, yeah, because he
bogeyed.
bogeyed.
I mean, it was basically 11.
Yeah.
11 under was going to win it. And so the fact he was already there, obviously, with the holes they had in front of him, it was not going to be easy to make a bunch of birdies coming in. Somebody would have needed to make a Charles Schwartzel-esque run or rattle off 4 or 5 straight on the back nine. And, I mean, credit to Augusta. We haven't talked about this. The conditions looked tough. It was very firm. It was very fast. I've never seen the greens baked out like that at Augusta. Kind of brown. You see it. It looks a little crispy. I had never before seen that. And I don't think they got any rain. There's possible rain Friday, Saturday. Never happened.
Well, they had a rain delay Friday night or last night.
So it did happen.
I don't know if it rained though.
Yeah,
or
that's
if it was
what
just lightning.
that's what got Hideki going yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Is Rosie still had the lead. Then they went out for the rain delay. They came back and Hideki just started throwing darts.
Yeah, because Hideki hit his drive on 11 yesterday. Rain delay happened. He goes birdie, or he comes back. They come back into the tournament. He goes birdie, par, eagle, birdie, par to finish.
Holy shit!
So he was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 under in the last 8 holes after the rain delay.
That won
and he won the tournament.
Yeah,
that won him the tournament. And like we kind of talked about Justin Rose the first day. I mean, you need one pretty good round and one really good round, and then you can kind of just play defense. Because it's just, if you can throw a 65 out at Augusta, you're going to have a shot. And Rosie ended up shooting 72, 72, 74. So he hung in there. I mean, we were in the group chat talking about it yesterday, his mental fortitude.
Yesterday was incredible.
A grind. Yeah, he was grinding the entire back nine. And so that's his 6th top 10 at the Masters in 12 appearances, I want to say. That's pretty fucking good.
Yeah, it's incredible.
I mean, I'm sure he's getting kind of frustrated, and he's not at the top of his game right now, so I don't know if he expected to go out and win, but this is a tournament he's competed at, been right there basically 50% of the time he's played in it.
Yeah, well, and I saw a stat on after he had the solo lead on Thursday that he has had the lead or co-led in a Masters in 6 rounds in total in his career, which is more than anyone else other than since Tiger Woods basically run.
Wow.
So he's always there. It was kind of, he just didn't have it after the 65. And the crazy thing about the 65 too, I believe he had a 5-shot lead or a 4-shot lead after day one. He was
4. He
was up and away the best player on the course that day. It wasn't like he was at 7. There was a couple guys at 6, couple guys at 5.
Yeah.
I mean, he played,
boat raced the field that day.
He embarrassed the whole field, and
he's capable of that. I mean, his ball. He's won a major. He's won the U.S. Open, but his ball striking and just everything about his game is super solid. So it's not like he came out of nowhere. I mean, like I said, he hasn't been playing great golf recently, but the pedigree of his game, you could kind of see him being there. Also, shout out to our boy Alex out of Spring Valley. he had first round leader Justin Rose $4 to win $268
on the DraftKings sportsbook app.
On our favorite sportsbook app, DraftKings. Yeah, that was fire.
So I tested out a new betting strategy for this tournament. It did not work.
Bet everybody but the winner.
Basically, dude, I had so many tickets. I just got and then they gave out the 20% profit boost every day. So I was just picking a new guy every day. So I started with nine golfers to win it. And then every day I just added another one.
You're like, I have half the field.
I ended up with 12, I think, or 13.
Everybody except for Hideki Matsuyama.
Yep, I did not have Hideki. I should have got in on him yesterday. I should have got in on him this morning as like a hedge.
Yeah.
And I just did. I really thought the pressure was going to get to him. And that is a huge credit to him, man. Like,
for sure.
Even when he didn't have, we kept waiting for it because we wanted to see it get tight. We're like, after, he got lucky on, what was that?
13. Twice. He got lucky on 13 twice.
Where he got the ball to bounce back into play. But, all together, man, he really, really just nutted up when he had to.
For sure. And like we were saying, nobody really pressed him that much. I mean,
yeah,
15. There was 5 minutes of stress. And then he sees Xander rinse it.
Yep.
And immediately that weight just falls off his shoulders. But I will say he hit it really well today. For the most part. He hit a lot of really good iron shots, hit a lot of really good drivers. How many fairways did he miss, Spencer? Were you stat guy? Will you check that?
Check that.
I don't know. I think he maybe
the one
missed
on 13.
Maybe a couple. But I would definitely. Well, and so you and I were watching it when he was on the front nine, and Hideki is famous for the let go or the one-handed finish, and it's in the middle of the fairway. So we were watching that tee shot, and we were like, he needs to come back to the field, and he lets go, and we're like, oh yes, let's go get right. It was in the right center of the fairway. It was fine. It was completely fine.
So this is kind of a funny stat, and this just goes to show you how random golf can be. So what was Hideki Matsuyama's best round of this tournament?
Yesterday.
Third round, right? Yeah. So yesterday he hit 36% of his fairways. Every other round of this tournament he hit 71, 79, and 71 today. And by far his best round of the tournament was yesterday, and he hit 36% of the fairways.
Yeah, that is wild, especially with how firm the greens were. You can't stop the ball next to the hole when the greens are that firm coming out of the rough. I don't even care if it's that wisp. The rough at Augusta is not heavy because it doesn't need to be. That's not the teeth of the golf course.
Could you imagine if they let it grow like a U.S.
Oh
Open
my God,
rough?
it'd be diabolical. It'd be I bet it would play if the greens play like they do and they grew the rough out. It'd be harder than a U.S. Open.
I would love that.
Oh my God, they should just make a tournament so outrageously hard.
We were talking about this in the group chat a couple weeks ago. I forget what tournament it was, but it was
TPC Sawgrass.
Yeah.
17 is Sawgrass.
And they were saying some of the players were saying that hole's just too hard. And I was asking you guys, I'm like, do you agree with this? Because I think it can never be too hard. Yeah. Everyone has to play the same hole.
Yeah, it's all relative to the field.
Yeah, exactly.
If you walk away with a 4, but the stroke average is 5, you're gaining a stroke. Sure, you make it's technically a bogey, but you're not playing against par. You're playing against the field.
I love watching them struggle.
Oh, me too. Yeah, it's a blast. I love the fast greens. I mean, Will Zalatoris did have a few lapses in judgment on the greens today where he hit it and immediately knew he just threw up all over himself. 7-8 feet past. How many 3-jacks? I think he had 2 or 3 today.
Yeah,
so
I hate to see that.
Willie Z needs to get the short stick. I mean, his putter's almost as tall as he is. He is not a big dude.
Well, so speaking of putting, let's talk about the most impressive thing from this entire Masters. And that's Siwoo Kim breaking his putter on Friday and not 3-putting one time, putting with a fairway metal the rest of that round.
He only played 3 more holes.
It was 4 or 5. I don't care if it's one hole.
It was
at Augusta,
16, 17, 18.
It was
3 holes.
Okay, 3 holes.
Fair
3
enough.
holes of 2 putts with a 3-wood.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive.
I would 3-putt with my putting the best I've ever putted at this course multiple times.
I wonder if there's something to it, though, where he knew like, okay, I just need to lag everything. Like he wasn't like overthinking it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's like the wounded athlete kind of thing. You know what I mean? When beware kind of deal where he's thinking so much about putting with a 3-wood or 5-wood. He's not overthinking the speed, the blah, blah, blah. But
he's only thinking speed, right?
Well,
he's like, I just gotta.
Yes, he's thinking speed, but he's more thinking contact.
Right.
But I know a lot of those guys, I personally don't do it, but a lot of players do like to play like a 3-wood or a 5-wood for bump and runs.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how they do that.
I'm not a fan. I just don't see situationally where it's beneficial.
Yeah.
Because in that situation, I would just use a putter.
Right.
But yeah, I think that because some guys go wedge, some guys go the bellied wedge, like try to hit it in the forehead kind of deal.
That's what I do. If I like when I did like 3 club tournaments, I would always use like a 56 to putt with and just take the leading edge. And
you just try to chop the ball in half and basically get it rolling. But
yeah,
but at the same, like you just said, like you're in that situation, you're trying to make good contact.
Exactly.
You read the putt for a second, you have an idea of how hard you want to hit it.
But you're more concerned with contact than anything.
But with a putter, you never think once about contact with the ball.
Totally true.
It's just like a straight speed, line, etc.
Quick plug on my own golf game. Now that we're talking about putting with irons and shit. When I was 18, I shot 81 with just a 7-iron.
That's impressive.
At the Valley of Fun, putting everything from the blue tees.
That seems like something
we should definitely do
it. Yeah.
Year. Oh, it was a challenge, but you really have to, don't want to dive too deep. You really just have to be strategic. Like I was laying up, like on hole number 10, for example, it's like a 440-yard par 3 or par 4. I hit just a full 7-iron, and then I would lay up to my 7-iron yardage. So my third shot was a full 7-iron, and I actually think I made par on 10, which is like the hardest hole out of Spring Valley. And everybody just thinks you hit it as far as possible, get it down as close as possible. It's like not always the case. I'm kind of just totally contradicting the argument I made with Xander Schauffele earlier, taking a full yardage versus a half yardage, but it's different when you have every club in your bag.
It wasn't a half yards, like it would have been a chip.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so weird.
We've got a comment.
So we got a comment in here from Crucify Me 99.
Is that Xander Schauffele?
Honestly,
Xander's burner.
First thought that came to my mind when Hideki won was the epic champions dinner they'll have next year.
Ooh, yeah.
What do you think he's gonna serve?
Dude,
I don't want to I don't want it to sound incorrect, but I bet the sushi could be off the hook.
Well, what is that?
Absolutely.
Isn't like if you don't get your Wagyu beef from Hassel Cattle Company, isn't that a
Japanese?
Japanese
you're thinking
thing?
of Kobe beef. Well, they're both, I think.
Wagyu. I mean, it's Japanese Wagyu.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, they could be flying in thousands of dollars in beef. That's
a lot of meat.
That's a lot of meat. Maybe we need to send Hideki our Hassel meat. I mean, it's not Japanese, but we need to send him our discount code. He could probably save a couple grand on all
if I don't think he wants to say like I'm no expenses spared when at my Masters.
Oh,
dinner.
absolutely.
So all right, so what would your Masters dinner be, Rye? If you won the Masters, you're coming in the next year. Let's see here. Dustin Johnson. So this year, Masters dinner.
He had pigs in a blanket.
Dude, that's fire.
That's
who
fire.
Who
but
doesn't
that's
like pigs in a blanket?
That's not fire.
Juvenile.
That's so lame.
All right.
That is 8-year-old
Appetizers, pigs in a blanket, lobster, and corn fritters. First course was a house or Caesar salad.
Okay.
Family-style sides of mashed potatoes and spring vegetables. Main course of filet mignon and miso marinated sea bass. And then dessert of peach cobbler or apple pie with vanilla ice cream.
That is just as a vanilla of a dinner as it gets. Like,
I
feel like you got to put your
play to the like. You don't need like Jack Nicklaus like complaining about your food, you know.
Yeah,
like,
but at the same time, like I won last year. I don't care if you like it or not. You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah, it's my dinner. I'll get high if I want to, kind of thing. That's a Drake's. Did anybody get the reference?
I did, actually.
It's my birthday. I'll get high if I want to. Anywho, yeah, if you win the Masters, you get to pick whatever, and everybody can deal with it.
Yeah, you don't have to pander to the other. You say if you don't like
But I
it,
do
win the
feel like
fucking
Imagine
Masters.
walking away from a Masters Champions dinner and be like, I didn't love that. No. I feel like he could have done a little better.
You don't think that they're walking out and they're like, so what'd you think of Dustin's
The steak was
choices?"
overcooked. Oh, shit. The $10,000 bottle of wine was getting
No one says that after their first one, but I feel like, after you've been to 30 of them.
That is just the most first world problem I've ever heard in my life. If you
to be
complain
fair,
about a champions dinner at the Masters, you should no longer be invited.
if you have a green jacket, all of your problems are first world problems.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting dinner.
So I think I would have sushi at mine.
I would
that's my
definitely
favorite food.
Yeah, I love sushi. Love sushi.
And maybe for like
Give us a roll. Throw out a roll.
Ooh, I mean, I love unagi, so something with some unagi in there.
Can you dumb that down for me?
That's the eel.
It's what?
Eel.
Oh, eel. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought. I would say like I'm an intermediate sushi eater.
Okay.
Like I haven't been to Sushi Den yet. I'm like that kind of intermediate.
I love a spider roll with the soft
shell crab.
Yep, I love
got a little
soft
crunch
shell
in
crab.
there. Anybody who orders a vegetarian sushi roll can just fuck right off. Like sweet potato roll, I've seen that. I've seen like I don't know if it's celery. No, they always put celery.
So
I've just seen like vegetarian only rolls. Not for me.
So
Big seafood guy.
I was actually a pescatarian for a while. But
Will you also
the main
dumb that
reason,
down for me?
I only eat fish.
Okay.
The main reason why I was like I'm going pescatarian is 'cause of sushi. I was like I'm not giving up my favorite
Sushi,
food.
lunch, and dinner every day.
I could do that.
I could too. I would probably
so-
have a heart attack from all the cholesterol, but I think I could.
What about you, Spence?
Sodium. I'm sorry.
So
not cholesterol.
I would add in the sushi, but I think that'd be my appetizer. But
Oh.
I honestly
like
would
at
go-
P.F. Chang's.
yeah, like
Always get sushi for the appetizer. Then you go something else for the meal.
big. But I'm a big steak guy, and honestly, like this isn't even a plug. We don't have a read for this, but I order from Hassel Cattle Company every other week, and their ribeyes, New York strips. I got the tomahawk in the freezer, just waiting to be cooked.
God.
I'm
Let it sit in there too long. If you overthink it,
Yeah. I'm a big steak guy, so I'd probably have a steak, but I'd have definitely like a baked potato. Baked potato with the steak in there is just that's my jam.
yeah, everyone's liking your.
I
dinner.
feel that. Have you ever heard of a golden yam or a golden sweet potato?
I think I've had a golden sweet potato.
They are fucking fire, dude. I think I would have to throw that in there. I think I would go filet, like Japanese Wagyu filet, asparagus, golden sweet potato.
All right.
All right.
All right. What would
fuck
your
with it?
dessert be?
So, shout out to our fire strawberry rhubarb pie, and I feel like that's kind of a southern thing. I don't know if I don't know where the fuck rhubarb comes from. I didn't even know
It's
it was
a
like
root.
a. Well, thank you.
It's
I
a
didn't know.
ground.
I actually didn't know that.
No, it's like a plant. Like you actually like eat the plant. It's not like a flower or anything. Not like a flowering.
Not like out of a
It's
tree.
in the same vein as like celery.
Yeah, it's like a stalk,
Yeah.
but it's super bitter. But strawberry and rhubarb just play so nicely off each other.
So good.
You throw some.
I'm in on
What
that.
was that ice cream company that got sued? Like
Bluebell or Blue Bunny?
no, Tillamook.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think, or no, it wasn't Tillamook. It was Blue. I know it
Bluebell.
was a Bluebell.
Had to.
Like
right?
There's
the.
also Blue Bunny.
It's like the. I don't even know how to put it. It's like the golden carton.
Yeah, I think
Like
that's
you know,
Bluebell. I think
what
that's
Bluebell. Yes, Bluebell is absolute fire. Tillamook ice cream, absolute fire.
All
Shout
right.
out Tillamook. Big cheese. I could move to Wisconsin. I love cheese. I love milk. I love dairy. I love all things dairy.
Join DNVR Golf for all the dairy talk and root vegetables.
Yeah.
Root fruits. Is that
Yeah.
a thing? Root fruit?
Root fruit. I don't think
Is a rhubarb a vegetable or a fruit?
I don't even think it's a food category. Like what the fuck is rhubarb? It's like a weed. It looks like something that just grows out of the ground. Like who got to the point where they were so desperate that they're like, let's try eating this plant?
I mean,
It just
It's
looks
a
like
it's a vegetable.
okay.
It says rhubarb is a perennial plant that has stalks similar to celery.
So I'm honestly kind of pissed off that now I know it's a vegetable because it goes in pie.
Yeah.
And so now I won't like that pie as much.
But like
Just out of principle.
a tomato is a fruit. So is a
But you
cucumber.
don't put it in a fruit salad.
You certainly don't.
You certainly do not. That's knowledge right
Okay.
there. Back to the golf.
But I'm in on the rhubarb pie as my dessert.
Dude, yeah, the rhubarb pie is fire.
Yeah,
Throw ice cream on top.
definitely. Who else like surprised you or like really underachieved in this tournament to you guys? I mean, Dustin missing the cut after winning.
Well, Dustin missed the cut. Rory missed the cut. DeChambeau missed the cut.
No, DeChambeau's he played.
Or, I'm sorry. Yeah, he was on the verge of missing the cut.
He might as well.
Dustin may have been on a bender. He's kind of a wild card. You never know what he's doing week to week. He's probably on a yacht down in like some sort of island setup just last week. You never know what he's coming off of. So he's kind of a wild card in that sense. But yeah, Rory, it's so weird with Rory because every year everybody thinks it's his year. And I almost feel like he cannot live up to the pressure that he puts on himself because it's his career Grand Slam. I mean, that's a huge milestone.
Yeah.
And he so easily won the U.S. Open at Congressional. He pretty easily, well, no, not at Valhalla. He won the PGA Championship. He didn't win it super easily, but I mean, he is the quality of player that should win every major multiple times. Like that's how he's looked at. So I think it's more pressure he puts on himself than anything. And at the same time, I honestly don't know. I don't know if this is a hot take, but I feel like Rory doesn't like, he's got a family, he's got a wife, he's got a kid, and his comments about Tiger, and he's kind of revealed through his comments and through the media that golf is his job. It's not his life. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I think that's kind of where he runs into some issues too, is it's not that for a lack of dedication. It's just he has other priorities.
In the same way that like every basketball player's mentality gets compared to Kobe.
Yeah.
It happens with golf and Tiger,
Yeah,
right? Like
absolutely.
Tiger loves golf and he loves winning.
Yeah.
And like
he loves just standing on your neck and just not letting go.
Yes, and he also hates losing.
He hates losing even more.
And if you don't have that,
yeah, you're looked at as soft
and maybe that's not right, but it definitely makes a difference in terms of how your career is going to go.
Yeah.
Like without killer instinct, without the desire to bury people, without the like you can't sleep after you lose. Like it might not be healthy, but that results in you working harder, you wanting it more,
Absolutely.
you putting more into the game.
Yeah.
And as like all of us know on different levels, but like this game, you will get out of it what you put into it.
For sure.
And if you're looking at it as a job while everyone else is looking at it as a passion, it's going to be tougher for you to get it done.
No doubt. I will throw one counterpoint at that though. With the level these guys are at, you can't work harder and that automatically results in you achieving more.
Totally.
That's the shitty thing. Like some guys practice less and they play better. So it's such a fine line, and that's why golfers are so, you can't really talk shit about like Louis Oosthuizen, for example. Nick Faldo and Gary Player have just drug him through the mud because he's like a farmer. Like he literally buys tractors and he has a huge ass farm, and that's his thing. He's got like a little range set up on this big ass farm, and he's made millions and millions of dollars. He's a great player, but talent wise, he's gotten dragged by some of the all time greats because they're like, he doesn't work that hard, and it's just such a touchy thing. I mean,
it's a really fine line.
Yeah, you got to draw the line somewhere. You can't practice golf 12 hours a day. You will get burnt out. You'll end up hating it.
Yep. And
there's plenty of players, even our age, or you hear kids that quit golf in college or right after college. There's such a burnout factor that these guys really have to compartmentalize how much they spend their time on golf, their family, so on and so forth. And Rory's worth, I want to say probably, if I had to guesstimate, it'd be around $500 million. So, I mean, the deal he signed with Nike almost 10 years ago was like $250 million. Yeah. So between and I'm not saying it's about money, but his kids will never need, he has done what everybody sets out to do on the PGA Tour already. But that's why I think it's even more personal than anything, is it's not like he's got pressure from anyone else. He will be in the Hall of Fame if he retired today. You know what I mean? He will be a first ballot elected Hall of Famer. So it's not even about that. It's just more about I would think it's more for him than it is anything. And that's what makes it that much tougher.
Yeah. Well, I'll say for my most disappointing player of the week, I'll give an honorable mention to my guy, Sun JM. Sun JM, I gave you guys all that pick. My apologies. Top 20, and he fired 80, 77.
He meant 20 over.
Yeah.
He got close.
He was closer to over par at 20 versus being in the top 20. So sorry for that pick, but that was real disappointing because he's been playing really good golf. He's been like top 2 or 3 at almost every tournament he's entered since the start of 2021. And he was T2 at the Masters last year, the only guy that we had a hope, other than maybe Cam Smith for a bit, that would give Dustin a run last year. And he flat out sucked. He was horrible. And then I think to go with the number one disappointment of the week is by far Bryson DeChambeau again.
I just have to laugh at this because Allie just gave us the I'll be back in 1 second, and literally the second that she left, the shot went out.
Oh my God.
People can still hear us, but it's hilarious.
DNVR After Dark.
Yeah.
DNVR Golf After Dark.
Hey, Al.
Oh God.
I know. That's what I just said. I was like, it's hilarious that Allie gave us the I'll be back in 1 second sign and the shot left. Yeah, that's
the par 67 comment.
Yep,
is just that he will never live that down.
what was this?
So last year when he came out and said that Augusta should be a par 67 with his
Who said that?
He
Bryson.
thinks it.
He legitimately said
thinks
that
of it
out
as a par
loud.
67 because of the scoreable holes. Like he thinks all the 5s are 4s.
I think he was over par on the 5s this week.
He shot, well, according to himself, he shot 10 over on day one. Didn't he shoot 77?
Yeah. And
So
then he came back with a good round Saturday.
I'll never believe in Bryson at Augusta ever again. Like the course just doesn't work for him.
he thinks he's above Augusta, and nobody is. That is top.
Win once.
Yeah, exactly.
Like top 5. Has he even top 5'd there?
Yeah, that's like Utah Jazz fans talking shit. It's like you've never won anything. I can't even hear it. I just don't want to hear it. Nuggets.
A Utah Jazz fan recently was talking shit to me about they were flexing, saying the Nuggets have never even been to the finals. I was like, you don't flex finals appearances. You flex wins. Like,
Yeah.
if you had a win, you could flex that.
We are on the
You don't get to flex
exact
finals
same
appearance.
level here.
Yes, 0 titles.
Also, I know this is a golf show, but real quick, Spencer said that if the Jazz won the finals, he would camp in a tent on Colfax for how many nights?
I think it's just one night.
Just one
I'll
night.
have to check the receipts on that. But
He's not going to have to worry about that.
Yeah, exactly. The Jazz are fake as fuck. Back to the golf.
2 guys I wanted to talk about. One, Spieth.
He did almost exactly what we thought he would do.
Yep.
He had a good week. He did not win, but he had a very good week. He's playing great golf. He did make a little bit of a charge towards the end of the back nine on Sunday, but Matsuyama just, the separation he created Saturday was just too tough to overcome for these guys. So,
And I was talking about this with you earlier. Once he had that lead and once he didn't give it away early, he also forced everyone else to press.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when you're up big late in the third quarter of a basketball game and the other team has no choice but to start shooting threes.
yeah,
Like,
it's going to go one way or the other,
right.
and it's usually going to go poorly.
Yeah.
You rarely find a guy who presses and all of a sudden they rattle off 5 birdies in a row.
Right.
You know, it just doesn't happen.
well, I think the interesting thing about Jordan Spieth watching him this week is he's T3, so I'm not going to talk shit about that. I said he wouldn't win again, which I was right on, but 87 players didn't win. It was one player. But he hit 79, 79, 79, and 64% of fairways in all the rounds. And usually if he does that, that's like
His irons
domination.
are the strength of his game.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
and his putting is ridiculous. So
Yeah.
when he's hitting fairways, I think that was the kind of crazy part about Spieth's 4 rounds here is he was never missing fairways. He wasn't in the woods. He wasn't like chipping out at all, and he still just like couldn't. I mean, he shot 7 under in 3 days, so I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about that. But
4 days.
4 days. But if he does that, like he normally, if you just told me those stats, I'd be like, okay, he won. I was wrong. Like, that's a lot of fairways for a guy that struggles off the tee.
For sure. No, and I mean, he played very well. 7 under, we were talking out at Spring Valley the other day, trying to guess what would win it. You went with 7. You went with 9. Kelly, one of our other instructors out at Spring Valley, went with 7, and I went with 11. Credit to me.
Yeah, you weren't right, though. I was just as close as you.
Damn it. I wish Hideki, I rooted for him to miss that, and now I was just as close as you were. Fuck you. I know you were. 9 and 11. Yeah, 10's
right in between 9 and 11.
It, but I told Ryan earlier that 11 was going to win it, and I just wanted to be right. I'm just a big guy about being right.
That would have been you probably could have gotten really good action on that.
I was going to say, dude, I should have bet that on the DraftKings Sportsbook app.
Can you imagine how much you would have been on the edge
exactly
for that?
Oh, fuck. I am having a horrible day betting. I bet the Nuggets and Xander Schauffele. Both of them like to give it up a little bit on the back end of the game. I don't know where I'm going with this. Yep. I just know that the Nuggets let me down and Xander let me down.
The other guy is Zalatoris. I mean, out of nowhere. And
he's been playing really good golf.
Right, but he looks like a guy that he probably made himself a household name this week.
He looks like a Pogue in Outer Banks.
He does, but I think that this guy's going to be around for a while.
You watch Outer Banks, right?
No.
You didn't watch Outer Banks. Not John B.
I don't know the other
It's
guy.
the other kid, the other blonde kid. He looks like he's like...
No, I said he looks like that kid that works at Spring Valley.
Caden.
He kind of does. He definitely looks like that. But also, so Will Zalatoris, ironically, still has... Basically, he could go to the Korn Ferry playoffs. Like, somebody tweeted on after his round Saturday or yesterday, and he was like in contention. They were like, I wonder if Will Zalatoris is still going to show up for the Korn Ferry Tour playoffs. Because the only reason he was even in this tournament was because of COVID-19 and the special exception they gave him to get on the PGA Tour. And then he played so well on the PGA Tour this year that he got an exemption to the Masters. So literally the only reason he just got a T2 in the Masters and is definitely going to be back and definitely going to give everybody a run for their money. I don't know how old the kid is, probably 21.
22, 23, yeah.
But
he's been on the Korn Ferry Tour for a few years. But yeah, he is capable of, and that just goes to show you how many of these guys, like you said, he should not even have been in the field, and he finished T2.
Yeah.
There's thousands of guys, and he literally, I'm not shitting you, thousands of dudes week in, week out that could finish top 5 at a PGA Tour event.
If it was just their
week. If they were there, if they had the exemption and they were there.
That's the other thing I was going to talk about when it comes to like working on your game. I think almost all of these guys that play on the tour would tell you that in the end, it really just comes down to like when you step out there on Thursday, like, is it your week?
Yeah.
Like there's no amount of preparation. There's no amount of anything you can do above what they're already doing that will guarantee you that, you know, you're going to have it. Like
completely. Just
when you tee it up on Thursday, like you're going to find out within that day if, you know, you're going to be dialed that week.
Yeah, if you're going to play around on Saturday or you're taking a flight out of town back to your hometown or to the next tournament on Saturday morning. All right, you guys have any other thoughts?
It was a fun Masters overall. I think overall the course was exactly what everybody expected it to be. After DJ went and shot 20 under in November, everyone knew they were going to firm it up. Everybody knew they were going to bring the teeth back, and they did that. And Hideki played some fucking awesome golf, separated himself from the field on Saturday, and then just hung in there, and nobody really gave him that nudge today. And I would say that was the most disappointing thing. And I wouldn't say it was a disappointing Masters, but the most disappointing thing for me was that nobody gave him a serious run.
Yep.
Yeah.
One flash of...
Exactly.
Yes.
There's one flash on 15. It's not possible, but I honestly wish I wish Matsuyama would have had the tee on 16 first.
So
like,
I was actually going to ask you
that's a great
Should that
point.
be a rule change? If you have the honor, you get to choose?
That I really like that.
Yeah, because
it's not match play. That's the tough thing.
I know, but I just mean in your group, if you have honors, you should just be able to say like, you go first.
Yeah.
yeah. Because that might have changed. We might be talking about Xander Schauffele at this point.
Yep.
Because if Hideki hits one not so good, then Xander's juiced about like, all right, I'm gonna play this one maybe a little safer, or I'm gonna definitely hit 7-iron and hit towards the center of the green and put the pressure on that if I make par, I'm still making up a shot here.
Yep.
Instead of like he had to go, but he didn't know. Like if Hideki hits the same shot he hits there on 16, Xander probably hits a better shot after that.
Oh,
there's just no like. There's no way to prove that.
The tough thing is, though, is it's flat out disrespectful. I mean, in this case, it would have been great if he could have told him you need to go first. But, like, if you're 12 over and your playing partner's even and you're like, no, you go first.
Well, there would be,
you know what I mean?
there would
like,
be
where
like
do you draw the line?
understandings.
Like, I'm about to fire 100 and you're about to shoot even par.
But I just think,
but
like,
no, I made bogey and you made double, so you go first. You know,
there
I
would
love
be
the
unwritten
concept.
rules, but I just think that it would be cool because it's supposed to be a reward, right? You won the last hole, so now you have honor, whatever. I think it should be you won the last hole, so you get to pick who goes first.
It's like the equivalent of making a hole-in-one and having to pay for a whole-ass tab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You actually get disciplined.
Right.
So,
the last thing I wanted to say is just I'm super, super stoked for the country of Japan. I think they said last night that Japan has the second most golf courses in the world compared to the United States. Is first.
Really?
It might have been per capita, but either way.
no, I would bet, like, if we're just talking individual countries, I bet that's correct.
So
I mean, golf is huge over there.
It's huge, and they never had a major before.
Yeah.
And it's so cool for them to get that major. It's already huge. It'll get even bigger now. There's, how many hundreds of thousands of kids who are watching this.
Yeah. How many kids are going to be like Hideki Matsuyama was I bet we'll see a major winner 20 years from now.
Who says that?
Yeah. That was his inspiration, which is super cool.
Love it.
I do love that.
And so, while, we wanted to see it get exciting and all that stuff, I know it was exciting for them every step of the way. And that's super, super awesome.
The play-by-play calls were electric,
Oh,
too.
good.
They were so good.
It would be great to. I want to see the TV ratings worldwide on this because I guarantee you, it blew up over there. And exactly like you said, there's going to be a kid in 20 years that was like, yeah, I got into golf because of Hideki Matsuyama. Like there's like, so Hideki, another shout out to him just because he joins now the club of 6 other guys that have won low amateur at the Masters. So he was in.
It was exactly 10 years
10 years ago today. He won low amateur, and now he won the actual tournament. So he joined Sergio. Tiger's done it.
Phil's
done it. And then there's Jack Nicklaus has done it. And then there's one other guy from like the 1920s or 30s that did it. So
60s, 50s, whatever. Yeah, but yeah.
Joins a very elite club.
Very elite company. And he was just a thrill to watch, man. We kept rooting, and I actually told Ryan, I was like, we need to start rooting for him to hit good shots because then maybe he'll hit a bad shot.
Yeah.
Because we kept like, we're like, miss it or put it in the woods or whatever, and he was just piping every fairway, hitting greens, 2-putting, making pars and birdies,
and he wanted to go with like I'm not going to change my strategy here. Like, a lot of guys get that big lead and start, coming off the driver, whatever. He's like, I'm going to go with what got me here. Like,
yeah. I mean, he hit driver on 18.
It almost cost him going for it on 15. Because like, again, I was like, why did he go for it?
Well, did you hear Xander said that? He was like, when Hideki went for it on 15, I have no idea why he did that.
Yeah.
Like, or he said surprisingly he went for it.
I think he was just thinking like, why would I do anything different from what I've been doing?
You got to respect that.
I respect it.
Yeah, I love
he hit
that.
driver on 18. That was crazy to me.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, we were talking about that too. But yeah, you're right. He stuck with his game plan. And it paid off.
Yep.
Good for him, man.
Shout out Hideki Matsuyama. Shout out all you guys for joining us for one of our first live shows in a long time. We plan on doing this more and more often. We got the DNVR Golf League coming up, and more importantly, we got the DNVR Golf Tournament, the DNVR Shootout, coming up 2 weeks from yesterday. So 2 weeks from Saturday, April 24th, 9 a.m., Spring Valley. Right after we get off this live show, we're going to tweet out the link. We've partnered up with our boys from actually some DNVR members.
Hell yeah.
Clava Golf. They created this app. It's a full sign up through there. So we're going to tweet out the link, send it out on Facebook, send it out to all the members. And if you guys want to get in, you better sign up quick because I think it's going to fill up. We can only have like 100 and 110 people, and that is going to fill up quick. So make sure you sign up for that. And we'll see you guys all at the Valley of Fun, April 24th. I also want to give a quick shout out to the winner of the DNVR Masters Fantasy, which was unfortunately not me or not Mitchell. Let's see.
Did have Will Zalatoris.
I got 6th. So
what did I finish?
You finished. Let's
scroll
see.
down.
Yeah,
It's like I got 6th out of 7.
No, there was 25 people in it, so I don't feel too bad. I did get scraped by so C_BERGGREN. DM
Bergman.
Berggren.
So
DM us on Twitter. We'll get you your golf balls, your DNVR shirt, and your golf hat. So congratulations on winning the first annual DNVR Masters Challenge. Big Drive finishing 6th, and Big Drive Mitch finishing in a sick 11th place. So nice work.
Top half.
Average is where I tend to be with everything. Also, shout out to the Breck Seltzers, Good Company Hard Seltzers. They got us through today. I think I've had 6 of them now. So I'm just rolling. It's been a good Sunday.
Great Sunday, Masters Sunday. Well, we'll see you guys all at the golf tournament. Sign up for that April 24th, 9 a.m., Spring Valley.
Boom.